So, Natasha, it's lovely to be here where Taylor Bennett Foundation is based. And thank you for giving us some of your time.
Thanks for having me.
Um, I suppose the first thing I want to say is I'm sat here looking at a photograph on the wall of you in 2018 when you were on the programme.
Yeah.
What has the foundation meant to you personally?
It's been so transformational for me because, before I came into PR, I was freelancing in journalism. I was running my own platform. It was like a entertainment global platform that I was running and doing a lot of freelance work within the space, and learning more about how PR works came through the foundation. So seeing a tweet on Twitter, I'll never forget, saying like, are you interested in PR? Would you like to know how the world works? Join our training program. And I was like, huh? And it was literally, I clicked on it, best decision I've ever made, because it's transformed and taken my career to new levels, which I'm really appreciative of. And it's been a great ride so far.
And I think I can say now that I am absolutely over the moon as
Thank
chair of the
you.
Taylor Bennett Foundation that you're now the chief operating officer. So it's
Thank
kind of
you.
come full circle, hasn't it?
Definitely.
And I think one of the things that excites me so much about the foundation is
Yeah.
that transformation.
Yeah.
But when I look into the industry and, you and I go to events, sometimes foundation events, and
Yeah.
I say to you, this is the only event that I go to where I am in the minority
Yeah.
as a white person.
Yeah.
There's still a lot to do, isn't there?
100%. I think we're in a time and space now where it's people can see beyond what you say, and it's all about what you do. Intentionality is everything to the diverse talent that we meet at the foundation, whether they're about to start their journey, they've begun already, or they're looking to pivot and transition. That intentionality and accountability piece is what will determine decisions diverse talent make over, the next 12 months of this year when it comes to new jobs and all the rest of it. So it's really, really important that for everybody that wants to continue to see the change, that you're intentional and accountable to it.
And that accountability piece is something that we've started to talk about at the board, and you've started to talk about with the team, which is actually, we're 15 years old.
Yeah.
And so there are organisations like Brunswick, like FTI, FGS Global, and now HSBC, who have been working with us for a long time. Brunswick for 15 years. And we can see a change in some of those organisations, but not in all of them, can we?
No. And I think, the reality is I like to bucket different, because it helps you understand the dynamic of the landscape we're in. So you've got the bucket of organizations, employers who, for them, if nothing isn't broken, then why do we need to fix it? It's not to say we're dismissive, but it's just like what we have works for us and we'd like to keep it that way. If that's what you'd like to do, fine, absolutely. But please understand the purpose for organizations like us and why we exist. You've got a second group of, employers that are either starting their journey or have begun and want to do more. So they want to get past, some of the buzzwords we've heard over the last few years when it comes to training and bringing in additional resources and stuff like that. It's about how are you creating internal and psychological change with your staff, with your leadership team, with your management team. Because those that are in the third bucket, which are, I like to call them the transformers, they're the ones that want to renovate, rip everything down, start again. Those are the ones that are inspiring, others within their different industries and institutions like HSBC, Barclays, Cancer Research UK, Meta, a lot of the organizations we work with, they are very accountable to creating that change. And part of their commitment that may sit within their DEIB strategies, working with organizations like us who can hold them accountable because we are established enough and well respected within the industry to know that our council comes from a place where we're continuing to see the industry change. So I think it positions us quite well to continue to be that innovator and be that support that those that need it need.
And I think, we had quite an extraordinary experience that you just grabbed with both hands and went, oh my goodness, we've got to do something with this, when we had our final reverse mentoring event.
Yeah.
And, you know, we walked into a shared office space where it hosted a number of different organisations, and there were a lot of people of colour in reception. And I was just like, oh my God, these people are all here for us. But they weren't, were they?
No, sorry.
And that was really exciting.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about that and your thoughts about some of that intersectionality that we share with other organisations who are also operating in the same space.
Yeah. I think what makes our relationships with those types of organisations really, really solid as they continue to build is the intentionality, the vision, the mission, the values that we all hold. Because collectively, we're all doing the same thing, maybe in similar ways, maybe in different ways. And I think what makes us as a group special in the different realms that we operate in is that when we do get a chance to come together and catch up and find out what's been going on in your world, how are things going with you, it gives us an opportunity to learn about other organizations that we both could be working with. What's your experience? How are you finding change taking place? Who are you speaking to at the top of the chain? Like, it gives us an opportunity to reinforce as a collective, you know, are these organizations that we're working with, are they committed? Are they true to what they want to do and the change they want to make, as well as continuing to build new relationships, expand, grow in ways where, as an industry, each one of us doing our part gets us there a little bit further. So, yeah.
And so on that particular evening, when we were celebrating the reverse mentoring scheme, you bumped into the group of Black London entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And to hear their stories and that crossover with our young people, you know, I came away from that really inspired.
Yeah.
And I think there could potentially be some work for us to do around some of those similar groups that are trying to achieve similar change in different bits of the city.
Yeah, 100%. So Black Equity Organisation, they're absolutely phenomenal in terms of how they're using their voice, their stakeholders, and those that they're working with to support the change in regards to racial equity across the board. And, you know, one of the things that we're really excited about at the foundation is continuing to diversify, you know, the opportunities we're able to present to talent, because with those entrepreneurs who are very diverse and give everybody an opportunity to see the world in a different lens, and to also see the opportunities that are available, even if you can't see it physically in other people that look like you. I think it makes for an exciting time as we continue to grow and scale.
And I want to talk to you a bit about, I've often said to our young people, and you and I have often talked about, you know, I am very conscious that I chair an organisation about ethnically diverse young people as a white woman.
Yeah.
But I'm also very conscious and have experience for the last 20 years, often being the only woman in a room. And here you are as a Black woman. Tell me about your experience as a Black woman in the industry and what women like me can do to support women like you.
Yeah. So as we already know, Black women in C-suite leadership roles here in the UK is less than 10%, especially in the FTSE 350. Within the not-for-profit sector, you don't have a lot of senior leadership or C-suite leadership. So to be one of a very few is one it's taken a little while to process. I'll be honest with you, because the responsibility is so great because there's not a lot of us here. So from a representation point of view, you know, when you speak to how can women that don't look like me support us, it's, you know, you need women in your corner who, like yourself, see, recognize, understand, and position accordingly. So you when you're able to see what is the challenge, are there opportunities, is there anything I can do to support someone who is looking to move into their career, that's an action. That's something tangible that you've said psychologically, I want to support doing. I want to make a conscious decision. So you've seen something and then you want to do something about it and follow through. You know, for a lot of diverse talent and a lot of Black women, you know, when it comes to somebody who is intentional, who sees an opportunity for you, who sits with you and works with you to build a plan to help you get there, and wants to be accountable in speaking to the relevant stakeholders or whoever is necessary to encourage and support and also mitigate, are there undercurrent microaggressions or issues that are preventing this change from happening? It's very far and few in between. But what you will find from a lot of Black women here in the UK is that for the collective of women that don't look like us, that do support us, the common ground is also the intersectional space, which is why for me being in this role, it's not just a reflection for the younger generation to see, but also for, you know, women like yourself to see and know that, oh, wow, outside of us being pegged, there's the rest of them are coming, you know? And so I think it's all about, if you want to be intentional in a Black woman's life when it comes to her career and supporting her, make sure you have the time, make sure you do your research, make sure you understand the landscape, the opportunities, and be honest. Because I think that honesty and respect is what allows these relationships to form and last a lifetime.
So I think it's really important that people who do want to show their support do their own research and their own homework, as you've said.
Yeah.
One of the most powerful things for me was being reverse mentored. And through the Chartered Institute of Public Relations and the Taylor Bennett Foundation. And I love to read. And I remember saying to my mentor, what can I read that will help me understand? And she recommended Girl to me. And in my 20s, I had the biggest, darkest, curliest, thickest hair, which was a nightmare. I hated going swimming. I hated washing it. And I read the chapter where she goes to the hairdressers for a whole day.
It is real. It's so real.
And I had no idea.
Yeah.
It made my experience look like a walk in the park.
Because it is. If we could get it down to that, we would.
But also this enormous community in the hairdressers.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah. So I think one of the beautiful things about being Black is these types of community spaces we create just off common ground. You know, like we're all here getting our hair done, or if we need our nails done. It just brings, you know, for women, for young girls as well, it gives you an opportunity to learn about what's going on in the community, or you get an opportunity to catch up on, you know, whatever's playing, whether you're interested or not. You get a chance to just breathe as well, because it gives you a chance to just sit there and be taken care of, be pampered. And for a lot of us as Black women who may have dealt with lived experiences in the workplace, like myself, experienced it in Brussels, and have been very lucky to not experience much in the UK, the impact it has, it's almost like these spaces are like therapy sessions and therapy spaces as well, which is incredible because of who we are and the color of our skin, even though we shouldn't have similarities or should be able to understand each other based off common ground, you know, analogies or, you know, stories or whatever we've gone through, it does give us that safe space to do that, where we won't be judged. We won't have to worry about how we say it or what we're saying, or we don't have to explain our expression because people in there understand. And sometimes at the same time, you get a mixed group of people that come in. And once we all get to know each other, we all get to learn how everybody else speaks, understands, because again, the common ground is as women, there are so many different intersections that we all deal with, go through on a daily basis, despite all of the other barriers that some of us may have to face more than others.
So we're now in 2024. My hope for the foundation for this year is that we continue to deliver our excellent flagship programmes and all the other things that we do, but that we do more of it and we reach more young people. I want to go into some of the big agencies, some of the big comms teams, and I want to see more leadership from people of colour.
Yeah.
For you, Natasha, what do you want this year?
I want to see all of that and the above. And I want to ensure that the accountability to that is in place. You know, I think with a lot of the relationships we build with organizations and even, you know, before coming into this role, working as a senior diversity talent advisor, working with organizations and big organizations and institutions like the European Commission, the Parliament, there is so much that can be done. But for me this year, for 2024, the accountability to sustainable transformation is evident. It needs to be evident. And I think for me, it would be great to see that take place in the form of the accountability needed at every touch point so that everybody can meet the goals that they want to achieve personally, that the business requires, that the workplace needs to see the growth that we should have and we should continue to see in the industry. So for me, it's all about growth, scale, and accountability in a sustainable way.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.